everybody, and welcome. I'm Heather from Children's Book World, and we are back with Books and Baking with Jen Calonita. And for those of you who were not around when we did this a few years ago during COVID, we just had an absolute blast. Jen, aside from being an amazing writer, is also a fantastic baker, and we picked books and baked thematically. So we are baking today based on Jen's new series, Isle of Ever. And before we start with the baking, why don't you tell us a little bit about the series, Jen?
First of all, Heather, I'm so excited we're doing this again. It was so much fun when we did it a few years ago. And please stay with us because we have a wonderful lineup for the next 6 months that we're going to share with you at the end. So the Isle of Ever series is a middle grade series about a girl who finds out she's inherited a huge fortune she can only collect if she finds an island that exists on no maps. It's off the coast of Long Island in New York. As she starts to put together riddles and clues left for her by this ancestor she didn't know existed, she realizes there might be more than an island out there. There could be a cursed pirate treasure, and there just might be a group of kids who went looking for the island back in the 1800s who've been trapped there, kind of frozen in time with this treasure that's a fountain of youth, awaiting rescue ever since. And it's a really fun series told in 3 parts. I'm going to warn you right off the bat that they end in cliffhangers. I just thought it was fun to do something a little bit different. I feel like I watch so many shows where they end on a cliffhanger, and I kind of feel like if I had to wait 3 years for the last season of Stranger Things, we can wait the year for the next book in the series. So these are for people who like riddles and clues, a little bit of a mystery and an adventure. And the book is really fun because you are flashing forward and back in time. You're reading diaries from this ancestor, Evelyn Terry, while also following along modern day with our main character, Everly Benedict, I should say. You're going to find newspaper articles inside the book. You're going to find Post-it notes. You're going to find maps. You are going to find all these fun things. So the goal was really that you would hopefully be figuring out the mystery and trying to solve things along with the characters. And book 1 is out in paperback now, and book 2 just came out in March. So the fun thing is I always love starting a series a little late because then you don't really have a cliffhanger because you can jump right into book 2 and then you just only have a year to wait till book 3. I should tell you, book 2 picks up right where book 1 left off. We are spending time with a new pirate in this book. There are some pirates. This one's very mysterious. She might go by more than one name. And the one constant in both books is this cat right here. This is Winks the cat. My publisher Sourcebooks made these when book 2 was coming out, and I kind of treat this like Flat Stanley. If you know anything about Flat Stanley, we used to have that when I was a kid, where I'd mail this like paper Stanley character to someone, and they would take it all around wherever they lived and mail it back to me. So this is Winks. I took him on book tour this spring. I'm going to take him to some fun places this summer and just kind of let this immortal kitty who's been living 200 years see the world a little bit.
Awesome. So tell us, where did the recipe come from within the book?
So in the book, our main character, Benny, is staying at this incredible inn on Long Island that she will inherit if she can figure out where this missing island is. And there is a caretaker at this historic inn by the name of Wally Ingram. And he is kind of like the comfort for our character. Benny has traveled a lot. Her mom switches jobs a lot. They're always moving. Benny doesn't have a lot of stability. And when she gets to this house and she meets Wally, he's really there to make her comfortable. And so he is always baking cookies. And when book 1 came out, a lot of reviews said, when do we get Wally's cookie recipe? And I was like, oh, we really do need a cookie recipe. So I'm very fortunate. I have a good friend who has her own company. It is Winter Cove Farms, and they bake bread and they also do baked goods. And so I said, can you create a Wally's cookie recipe for us? And so she did. And so we are making the ultimate brown butter chocolate chip cookies because it is so comforting and they are warm and gooey and delicious. And if you want to bake along with us, you can, because we have a link to the Children's Book World website. The ingredients list is up there for them. You can also check it out later on. It'll be up there. But I'm going to jump right in, and you want to bake along, Heather? Well, you want to like just help me do this?
I'm going to help you do it because there's nothing I like more than baking chocolate chip cookies. And I don't care what anybody says about any other desserts. Chocolate chip cookies are the ultimate.
They are the ultimate. And the thing that makes these so special, because you and I talked about this at length, I had never done this before, and I know this is relatively new for you too, this brown butter. Now, this means you're going to take a little extra time with your recipe, because you're going to spend 10 minutes taking 1 cup of butter, which is 1 stick, unsalted butter, and you're going to brown it on the stove, which means you're just going to cook it over a low to medium heat for 10 minutes until it literally gets brown. And I'm going to show you, I actually did it before we started because it would take too long. I always say, like, use a heavier pan for this. And then you're going to know it's ready, because after 10 minutes, the butter literally turns this brown color. It's got a nutty aroma. The house smells amazing. And so you do this, and then after you brown the butter, you have to let it sit for a good 10 minutes, let it cool off. And this is really what it looks like when you're finished. Doesn't this look like almost like Coca-Cola or something?
I know. And I have to tell you, like, for years, I was terrified to like brown the butter, because I was like, I will burn it. I know I'll burn it. I'll not be able to smell when that nuttiness, but I have to tell you, you do. It just automatically, you know exactly when it's brown.
You do. And so it's such a huge, please listen to us on this. Take the time, brown the butter. Brown the butter. So now this is cooled off. I've let this cool off for 10 minutes. I am going to put this, I have an electric mixer. I am going to pour this in. What we do is we pour this in, and then we are going to whisk it with 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, which I've pre-measured here. And we're going to add 1 cup of, let me get this all in here, of brown sugar as well. And then we're just going to like whisk it for 1 minute on low. I'll show you what it looks like. Here's our brown butter. Our brown sugar. We're going to add that as well. And I'm going to put these all in here, and we're just going to very quickly going to give this a little bit of a stir. I hope it's not too loud for us.
It'll be fine.
Not too bad. It's pretty quick. It's pretty quick. You just want to whisk it until everything starts. You see the sugar start to dissolve, and I'll show you. It does it pretty quickly. Sometimes I'll just use something and just make sure it's all kind of mixing in together. My little slotted spoon here. And it's pretty quick. Let me show you what this looks like. It smells so good too.
Yeah, it does.
You can see that there. Kind of like the sugar it's all mushy. It's kind of dissolving a bit. And that's exactly what you want. You just want to give it a quick little stir. Make sure it's all dissolved. And then we start to add some of the wet ingredients, which is really fun as well. It was funny. I feel like cookies are such a fun thing. Like if people are coming over for the weekend or you're having company, like if the kids are home from school, I love some cookies always to be ready. So it just felt like a natural thing for the character to do. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 eggs now, which I've already cracked them. You're going to pour those in. And then you are going to take 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And then we're going to whisk it again. As simple as that. The only thing I'll say about this is once you have the dough ready, you really want to let it chill for at least 30 minutes. But you can let it chill for anywhere from 24 to 72 hours. The dough actually gets better the longer it sits. So now we're just going to give this another little whisk.
And that's great, because I always like any kind of thing that you can make ahead.
Yes.
Because then you have it and you can just pop it in the oven when you're ready.
And also, we've been testing so many batches around here over the weekend that I think when I finish this dough, I'm going to actually, I looked it up online. I'm going to roll the balls I'm going to chill them in the freezer and then pack them away so that I can have cookies at another time. Because we have a lot of cookies around here this
Your kids are probably like, yes, mom's baking again.
Yeah, they're like, what are you? I was like, don't eat any of the test cookies. And let me show you. So when you whisk it again, it's just going to kind of form like a little bit of ribbons. I'm just going to try to make sure it doesn't get too gooey over here. But you see that there? Still that brown color.
Good.
And now, so it's like really a 1 to 2 minutes. But then you want to fold in your dry ingredients. Now, the dry ingredients are 1 teaspoon of sea salt. So I'm going to put that in.
It's very appropriate for a pirate type book, you know?
I know, and I love pirates. And, you know, people like to always ask where this idea came from. And it really came from the fact that my grandparents lived on the east end of Long Island, on a town near the water. And when I was really little, my grandmother would take me down to the beach to search for pirate treasure. And I thought it was just a game to keep me busy, but she explained Captain Kidd, a very famous pirate, once sailed the waters around Long Island and had buried a great deal of treasure on Gardiner's Island, which is a tiny private island that is located between Long Island's two forks at the east end. And that treasure had been found, but supposedly there was other out there. So I always wondered where it could be and why I couldn't find it. And so a few years ago, I thought maybe I could tell a story like that, where there was a pirate very much like Captain Kidd, and there's buried treasure, and there's this island you can't see. Because that was my theory, that maybe as a kid, that there was some island showed up every once in a while, and that's why I couldn't see it. We are going to take, I'm double checking myself here, 1 teaspoon baking soda. We're going to pour that in. And then literally, I mean, it's really, these are probably all ingredients you have in the house already, you know, like it's nothing too out there. Then we have 2.5 cups of flour. I will just say, as you're adding this, add it slow, because otherwise it's going to plume up on you. You really don't want to overmix this at this point. You just want to get it so that it is folded in, because then you're going to add in your chocolate chips. What kind of cookies do you like to make, Heather?
Well, I do love to make chocolate chip cookies. I like any kind of cookies that have chocolate involved with them. Double chocolate cookies, chocolate souffle cookies. And I also like to decorate cookies. I'm not very good at, but I just love getting that icing and
the royal icing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's so fun.
It is fun. It takes forever. I feel like by the time I'm done, the kids are already eating the cookies, but they are fun. They're so fun to make. So fun fact, when you and I did this a few years ago, I was not a big baker, but I was like, this seems so fun. And then we were doing this so often. I had like a very old mixer, and there's nothing wrong with that, but like I had it like 20 years. And then this was a surprise gift for my
I was going to say, it looks new.
Shiny new KitchenAid. I have to say, I didn't realize how amazing these were. This is not a plug, but until I got one, and I was like,
I know.
This all mixes so easily. It's so nice.
There is a reason that they are the gold standard, right?
Right. Do you watch the pretend cooking show that Jennifer Garner does?
I have a couple times.
I love it. I love it. She actually, it was so funny because I thought of us. She did like a brown butter cookie like a few weeks ago.
Oh, really?
When she was like up super early, and I was like, another person who browns butter. Okay, so you can hear the mixer is getting a little bit slow. It's just kind of blending it all together. You don't want to over blend it. It's okay if it's a little bit crumbly. The idea is just to get the dry ingredients mixed in. And now I'm going to show you what that looks like as long as I don't knock it out of the bowl.
It's so great to know your backstory of why you loved pirates, because I knew you loved pirates because of your dog's name. Which you like to tell everybody what your dog is named?
Captain Jack Sparrow was our child's name. We always loved like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Like, I just thought they were so much fun. I loved the adventure. I loved Captain Jack Sparrow. I love pirate characters. There was this Disney show called Once Upon a Time that I loved, and they had Hook, who was like a young, cute version of Captain Hook. pirates have always fascinated me. Like they feel like the Han Solo of the pirate world. And that's what I was Captain Kimberly.
That is awesome.
All right. So this feels like it's not going to be smooth. So you see this in here? It's a little bit crumbly. We just want enough because you're not going to make your cookies right now. They're soft. What we're going to do is we are going to mix in 1.5 cups of chocolate chips. You could do more or less depending on what you really want. I have 1.5 cups right here. And I'm just going to fold them in because the next thing you're going to do is you're going to actually put this whole thing on, I would say like any kind of saran wrap or anything like that. And you're going to put it in the fridge and you're going to let it chill for at least 30 minutes. My aunt always said before you made cookies, you were also supposed to chill your baking sheets. Like, do you ever do that? Like your pans?
No, but you know what? I did hear that. And I wasn't sure if it was one of those like old wives' tales or if it was a real thing.
I guess because like, well, when we're doing the other types of cookies, like the royal icing cookies and things like that, I guess they get soft so quickly. Yeah. And so if it's a chilled baking sheet, that's so much better. I did not do that for us today, but I am just going to give this a little bit more of a stir. Make sure these cookies are all the way through. And then I'll show you. It's a lot of chocolate. 1.5 cups chocolate chips is a lot of chocolate chips. You are not going to worry about making a cookie that does not have chocolate chip because they are all in here.
While you're doing that, I'm popping up our website so that if you want to get the recipe, you can go to the website and click on Books and Baking with Jen Calonita. And not only can you get the recipe, but you can order autographed books if you would like.
Yes. Which is so fun. And I feel like Isle of Ever is like a perfect summer read. I mean, yes, it takes place in like a coastal town. It's based on a real town by the name of Greenport on Long Island, where I spent a lot of time growing up as a kid. There are stores in there that are real. They're, you know, it feels like you're there. That's my hope for you, is that you feel like you're in this beachy coastal town.
You absolutely do. And I have to say, it is the best time to read it because book 2 is out, because it's quite the cliffhanger. That's all I'm saying. Quite the cliffhanger.
Yeah, you're going to learn enough. And you know, the fun thing I will say about the paperback of Isle of Ever is that if you read the paperback, not only will you get an autographed copy if you order it from Children's Book World, but in the back of the paperback is chapter 1 of book 2. So you can jump right in while you're waiting for your book 2 to arrive. So here's our cookie dough.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, I could see that
right here, all mixed. Now, what I would do right now is I would put this on saran wrap and I would let it chill. But because of the magic of our little stream, I already did that for us. So let me show you. I made a batch for us last night. Woo! And all here in saran wrap. And then, you know, you could leave it out for a few minutes if it's too hard. But what I do is you preset the oven to 350, and you're literally going to bake them 10 to 12 minutes at 350. Let them cool for 5 to 10 minutes on the baking sheet, and then transfer them to a wire rack if you have it. If you don't, I understand, but if you do, it's a great thing. But this is, I'm going to show you, this is our dough.
And kids, always make sure you have parental or grown-up supervision if you are using the oven.
Do not use the oven without
a grown-up
supervision. Yeah. Up there. So see, when it comes out, it's kind of like this. So then I just roll them into balls and I, you know, make a bunch and put them in the oven, and away we go.
Oh.
We have a batch ready to come out. So it's just like a ball about this size. It's like a little tinier than a golf ball. And I just put it on my baking sheet. And I usually have like 6 to 8 on a baking sheet. And I mean, you really get, I would say you get like at least 18 cookies out of this, maybe 24, depending on how big you want to make them. But I have a batch ready for us. So let me show you another one. Get these out of the oven. So these are Wally's chocolate chip cookies. They are so gooey and delicious. You just want to make them a bit golden brown.
They look so good.
Put all the chips in there. They come out on a little bit of a golden brown. They will bake for a few more minutes on the tray, but they are, I mean, there's got to be like, I mean, this one might have like, I'm not kidding, there might be like 10 chocolate chips in this.
They look fantastic. Just like Wally makes them in the book.
Yes. I mean, Wally's, he must do like me and always have like a batch in the freezer ready to go, because it feels like every time there's some kind of drama or we're in the middle of solving a clue or something, he will be like, I'm going to go make you a snack. And he does. He goes and makes a snack. So it's fun. Yeah. It's a fun story. It's about found family and just finding yourself and finding your way, and how far would you go for someone you love. So
one of the things I really love is the dual timeline that you have going on. And I've always wondered, like, when you're writing that, do you write like one timeline and then the other timeline, or do you actually go back and forth?
I can't do it that way. I remember, I think it was Sarah Shepard once said she just does like one character at a time. I usually have a whiteboard out and I will either write on it or I will have Post-it notes on it, and I map out the story before I begin, because my hope is that what you learn in the past comes into play somewhat in the next chapter in the present. And so I'm really careful about mapping everything out and figuring out, you know, I want you as the reader to almost be one step ahead of Benny. That was like the hope or the goal, that you're like, oh, she hasn't figured this out yet, but I just read the chapter from the past and I know. Because Benny is looking for these diary entries from the past that her ancestor Evelyn Terry has written for her. But Evelyn is so afraid that somebody will find them, because there are other people after this treasure, not for the right reasons. She's so afraid somebody will find them that she keeps them separate. So every time Benny and her new friends find a clue, they get another diary entry or more than one entry. And so and one thing I will point out is that in book 1, you'll notice you skip a number or two on the diary entries, and maybe you're going to get to read those in Cursebreaker. So there's a reason, like there's certain entries skipped. And so it was a lot of planning to really plan out everything for 3 books.
It seemed like a lot of planning had to go into it, because besides the diary entries, you have those kind of announcements and ads in there. You know, everything sort of looks almost collaged in. Did you write it that way? Intend that information to be in that sort of style?
Yeah, I thought, I did this series, Fairy Tale Reform School, which I love. And there were these magical scrolls that were in between chapters. Like it was almost like a newspaper headline in the fairy tale community. And so I thought, it's so much fun. We know, like, we want kids to read more. So I want to try to make it fun for them. So I'm like, if we can take us out of the story for a minute and you get to read a newspaper article or a page of Post-it notes, or you're sitting there and you're examining a map, that's like another way of being part of the story. And my hope is that you get so excited when you find things that makes you want to jump into the next chapter, whether it's a chapter in the past or a chapter in the present.
It is fun. You do feel when you're reading that you're sort of solving the mystery alongside of Benny and her friends. You have that feeling of, maybe I can solve it first.
Yes, that's my hope. That's my hope. Yeah. And there is quite the jaw-dropping cliffhanger at the end of book 2, but you learn something very important. You will learn why Benny is the curse breaker. And so that to me was the biggest deal. And it's been fun hearing from parents and readers as they get to this moment and learn this like very important piece of information that kind of makes you think this is all coming together now and we're barreling ahead to this like conclusion I hope you love. It's been so much fun for me. The most fun I've ever had writing.
That's so awesome. And can you give us a little hint of what's coming in book 3?
So book 3 has an official title. It is The Vanishing Isle, because all three books take place over a few weeks, just a few weeks in June 2025. And so, at the end of this time, the island is going to disappear. It's only here for a short amount of time under certain weather conditions. And so as we get to book 3, we know we don't have much time left to figure things out. We know that there's a very important piece of treasure that's missing. And we know that it might have been sent to the pirate queen who originally sent these pirates on a journey to find this treasure. No one knows at this point. Is she alive? Did she get that piece? And was she able to get the piece before she might have died? Or if she died, where could that piece be? And so we've got a lot of things at play. This pirate queen, just like the island, is a little bit magical and mystical. And so book 3 is a lot of fun. And I just can't wait for people to read it. I had so much fun putting it together.
Well, we can't wait. And I'm excited that that's up next. And up next for Books and Baking, should you tell everybody what's coming up?
So we have, to make it easier for you, we have the first 6 months planned for Books and Baking. And so every month you can join us on a Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern if you want to bake live. And next month on June 10th, we have Allison Gerber, who writes the Liar Society series. Book 3 just came out. And we are going to be making frozen hot chocolate because her characters are spending time in the Alps, and frozen hot chocolate, even though it's a little cold there, it just felt very fitting and very fun. And so perfect timing for June because you're going to want some frozen hot chocolate come June. So we are going to make that with her, followed by Christina Diaz-Gonzalez. Everybody's so excited about the World Cup, and we are going to be making soccer cake cups for her new graphic novel Offside, which comes out this July. We have Karina Young-Glazer coming, and James Ponte and Kaylin Barron, and it's just going to be so much fun. So I hope you'll join us for more.
It is an amazing lineup of authors and books and delicious food to go with it all.
Food. And delicious food.
The things that we love. Well, this was terrific. I'm so excited that we are doing this again.
I am too.
If anybody makes these cookies, when you make these cookies, can you share them on social media? Can you tag Jen and tag Children's Book World? Because we would love to see your cookies.
We would love to see your cookies. Please bake them and share it with us and let us know what you think about browning the butter. I'm telling you, it's a game changer.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, Jen. Everybody have a great rest of your day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.